Hello, my name is Severo Becerra. I am applying for the position of manufacturing manager at the Arconic location here in Carson, California. Uh, I'm going to be talking about my skills, my accomplishments, and what I'm currently doing to improve my skills to be a good fit for this position. A little bit about myself. I've been in the aerospace industry for 11 years. When I started working here at this branch, I started working as a heat treat technician, as a shipping and receiving technician. Then I became a machinist, and now I've been promoted over to the production side, which now I'm a production supervisor. Okay, when I first started working here, I was trained in the heat treat department. The skills that I developed in that department were great. I was able to identify and learn the knowledge behind of the heat treating process, meaning that obviously the most basic thing will be not to heat treat titanium the way you heat treat aluminum. In our facility, we deal with aluminum, titanium, nickel, steel, stainless steel, and composite material, which will be a much lighter material than titanium. Once I got promoted over to the shipping department, I learned about the ITAR, which will be the International Traffic and Arms Regulation. I learned about the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration. I learned about the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, and of course, all the regulations that we deal with when it comes to working with Boeing. On the receiving side, shipping and receiving side, I learned a lot of the skills about the business, what the customer wants, what they need. We learned about the high standards that our facility has, the quality behind it, and most importantly, the customer satisfaction. Once I was promoted over to the machining side, I learned how to be a machine operator, how to operate titanium, how to manufacture parts out of a composite, which is a much lighter, more expensive material than titanium. I learned how to manufacture parts out of aluminum, and most importantly, how to train other personnel to avoid scrap. Scrap means the material is ruined and cannot be used again. I believe in myself having the skills and knowledge that I have of all the years being in different departments, learning different things. I believe in myself and I am well confident enough that I will be a good manager. Reasons behind that: I know the system. I have been here many years. I know the people. I know what the people want. And most importantly, I know how the business runs internally and externally. Internally will be more on the manufacturing side, taking care of the employees, watching what we spend on, and most importantly, not scrapping material, especially when it comes to titanium. That's very expensive, and of course, the more we scrap, the more money the company loses. On the external side, I have developed the skills and currently improving and working on my skills to be much better at preparing myself when it comes to presentations with customers, when it comes to presenting financial data over to the CFO. Most importantly, having everything within compliance for the FAA and, of course, for Boeing. Boeing are very hard to please because everything has to be within their compliance, and of course, I understand that. But at the same time, they do try to get difficult when it comes to showing them reports, showing them analysis reports, especially more on the manufacturing side. They want to learn exactly what we're doing, process improvement, and of course, how much money does the company bring in to be profitable. Boeing is in charge mainly of all aerospace companies. Everything has to be within compliance. Now, my accomplishments. I have been to Prince Frederick, Maryland. I've been to go see some machinery out there. I approved some of the machines that we have now in our facility, which improved the automation side of our company. What does that mean? It helped to reduce hand packaging. Of course, by having automated packaging makes it much easier. It avoids repetitive motions, and at the same time, larger quantities. We can use those machines to package our products. Another accomplishment of mine, I was trained and sent to Suzhou, China, to understand and improve the process of the way they do their work in that facility. I myself being a machinist at the time, I showed many other co-workers in the Suzhou, China facility on some of the things that we do and some of the things that we have implemented to avoid scrap. Again, the more scrap you have, the more money the company loses. Um, what I'm currently working on to improve my skills and to be a good fit as a manufacturing manager. Most importantly, I am going to school. I'm attending University of Laverne. I am working on my degree in organizational management. And the most important thing that I myself need to work on is communication. Communication is key in our environment because number one, we deal with a lot of people, we deal with a lot of customers, and most importantly, our coworkers. Being a manager, we don't only need to know the way the system works, how it runs and operates, but we also need to learn how to communicate with the people. Because remember, as managers, the people work for us. And if we do not have a peaceful environment in our facility, production numbers are not going to be met. Another thing that I'm working on to improve my skills as a manager is the implementation of limited scrap. I understand operators make mistakes. It's a human error. I understand that. But at the same time, the operators themselves need to understand how much money we're losing every time there's scrap. Now, when I talk about scrap, I'm not talking about one or two pieces. I'm talking about thousands of pieces. So if a specific part, for example, per piece, it cost 69 cents per piece. If you multiply that times 25,000, you do the math. The company's losing money. All the employees need to be accountable for their actions. In other words, they need to understand that when they're running their machines and they step away for long periods of time, they need to understand that if the tooling breaks, those parts are going to be damaged and they cannot be reworked because again of the titanium. If it's undersized, you cannot add the material back on. What does that mean? Those parts are ruined. That's what I'm currently working on, developing skills and the implementation of having the people understand that we cannot scrap too much titanium because again the company loses money. Another thing that I have implemented now being a production supervisor is a spreadsheet working alongside with the calibration department. um, we have implemented a spreadsheet which pretty much tells us when a gauge such as a measuring tool like a caliper, a micrometer, telescoping gauge, whenever they become out of spec, meaning out of the date that they're supposed to be inspected. Once they reach that point where that tooling is out of calibration or it's not within that date we're supposed to be using it, our spreadsheet lets us know that hey, it's time to renew that calibration for that specific tooling. Reasons behind that, again, when Boeing comes to our facility, they make sure that everything that we have has to be within compliance. It has to be within a certain date of inspection, because again, everything that we manufacture is gonna go in a commercial or passenger aircraft, and we cannot afford to have any mistakes. People's lives are at risk, and of course, we as the facility want to take care of the people that are going airplane, and most importantly, we ourselves want to produce a safe product for our customers. Um, this will be it. This concludes my presentation. Um, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for listening to me, and most importantly, thank you for the time that you gave me for the consideration of the manufacturing manager position. Thank you so much. Bye.